Do not look back when leaving. Symbol of detachment, not looking back, represents fully letting go of the past and moving forward with a clear vision. It signals emotional and mental closure. Focus on the future. Looking forward helps keep the mind on future goals and opportunities, avoiding distractions or regrets from the past. Avoid regret or hesitation. Looking back can symbolize doubt, hesitation, or lingering attachment to what's being left behind, making it harder to move forward. Personal growth. This mindset fosters growth by encouraging individuals to embrace change and leave behind what no longer serves them. Mythological and literary roots. The idea is rooted in stories like the biblical tale of Lot's wife or the myth of Orpheus, where looking back leads to negative consequences. The concept of not looking back when leaving can be seen as a powerful symbol of detachment. It signifies the act of severing ties with the past and the conscious decision to move forward without lingering attachments or regrets. Detachment, in this sense, does not necessarily mean indifference or a lack of care for what has been left behind, but rather a healthy acknowledgement that clinging to the past can hinder progress. By refusing to look back, an individual metaphorically frees themselves from the emotional weight that might otherwise pull them back into old habits, relationships, or mindsets that no longer serve their current journey. Detachment is often viewed as a crucial step in personal transformation. To grow, one must let go of the things that limit or define them in restrictive ways. These might include past failures, successes, relationships, or even aspects of one's identity that have become burdensome. By not looking back, the person acknowledges that they are not their past, they are something more fluid, always capable of change and evolution. It allows for a sense of liberation, where the focus shifts from what was to what could be. The absence of backward glances symbolizes not just physical departure, but emotional and psychological freedom as well. Furthermore, detachment is often necessary for embracing new opportunities. Looking back can lead to second-guessing, hesitation, or even a longing for comfort zones that may be harmful in the long run. In many spiritual and philosophical traditions, detachment is seen as a form of self-mastery, where one's actions are guided not by the pull of past experiences or memories, but by present awareness and future aspirations. The act of not looking back is a tangible expression of this mastery, where the individual takes control of their narrative, unburdened by the past. Ultimately, this form of detachment is a step toward a more fulfilling existence. It's not about erasing the past, but rather learning from it and then choosing to move beyond it. The journey forward is no longer clouded by regret, fear, or nostalgia, but instead fueled by the possibilities of what lies ahead. In this sense, not looking back becomes a powerful declaration of independence and personal strength. Focusing on the future when leaving behind something significant can be seen as an act of hope, direction, and intent. It emphasizes the importance of looking ahead to what lies beyond the present moment or the current situation, rather than dwelling on what has been left behind. This forward-looking mindset often reflects a sense of purpose, ambition, and an openness to change. When an individual chooses to focus on the future, they make a deliberate decision to prioritize growth, opportunity, and the potential for new experiences rather than remaining tied to memories, comforts, or the familiarity of the past. The future represents possibility, something that is yet to be written. It holds within it the promise of new beginnings, uncharted territories, and goals that have not yet been realized. By turning their gaze toward the future, a person can actively shape their destiny, directing their energy toward building a life that aligns with their values, dreams, and aspirations. This shift in focus encourages adaptability and resilience, as it requires the individual to embrace uncertainty and the unknown, trusting that what lies ahead will be more rewarding than what has been left behind. Focusing on the future also invites a forward-thinking mindset, one that prioritizes long-term goals and vision over short-term distractions. It requires patience and planning, as well as a clear sense of purpose. When someone chooses to look forward rather than back, they are not dismissing the lessons of the past, but they are choosing not to be ruled by them. They take what they have learned and use it as a foundation upon which to build something new. In this way, focusing on the future becomes a practice of self-empowerment. It is about claiming responsibility for one's own path and moving with intention toward a brighter, more fulfilling outcome. Avoiding regret or hesitation when leaving something behind is crucial to moving forward with confidence and clarity. When a person looks back, there's often a sense of unfinished business, uncertainty, or longing for what could have been. This backward glance can lead to regret, a powerful emotion that can linger and weigh heavily on the mind, making it difficult to embrace new opportunities or experiences. Regret often stems from unresolved feelings, the what-if questions, or doubts about whether the right decision was made. By consciously choosing not to look back, a person is actively avoiding these emotional traps, allowing themselves to move forward unburdened by second-guessing. Hesitation, on the other hand, is a form of resistance to change. It's the pause, the moment of doubt, where someone questions their readiness or ability to step into the unknown. Hesitation can be paralyzing, causing individuals to remain stuck in situations that no longer serve them simply because the familiar, even when it's no longer beneficial, feels safer than the unknown. By choosing not to look back, an individual is not just rejecting regret, but also rejecting hesitation. They are making a clear statement that the path forward is more important than the comfort of staying put or the temptation of revisiting the past. In doing so, they allow themselves to move with purpose without being bogged down by doubts or fears. Avoiding regret and hesitation is also a form of emotional discipline. It requires the ability to trust oneself and one's decisions. This self-trust is vital in navigating life's transitions, as it reinforces the belief that the choices are for the best, even if the outcome is uncertain. This mindset fosters resilience, as it equips a person to handle whatever challenges may arise in the future without constantly questioning the decisions that led them there. Regret and hesitation often arise from fear of making mistakes, fear of loss, or fear of the unknown. But by choosing not to look back, a person embraces the idea that mistakes are part of the journey, and that moving forward is more important than perfection. Moreover, avoiding regret and hesitation keeps a person focused on the present and future. When someone looks back too often, they risk becoming stuck in a loop of over-analysis, dissecting every past decision or action. This analysis can lead to indecision, where the fear of repeating past mistakes prevents any forward motion. In contrast, when a person refuses to dwell on the past, they maintain their momentum. They recognize that growth and progress require action, and that action cannot take place if one is constantly hesitating or regretting. By eliminating regret and hesitation from their mindset, they create space for new opportunities, new experiences, and the potential for transformation. Ultimately, avoiding regret or hesitation is an act of self-liberation. Personal growth is an essential aspect of life that requires constant movement and evolution, and a key component of this growth is the ability to leave the past behind and not look back. When an individual chooses to move forward without being tethered to what once was, they create space for new opportunities and experiences that foster self-improvement. Personal growth is deeply rooted in the idea that life is a journey of continuous learning, adapting and changing, and this process is often hindered when one is overly fixated on the past. By refusing to look back, a person signals that they are ready to embrace the future with openness and curiosity, knowing that growth requires stepping outside of one's comfort zone. Letting go of the past is often challenging, especially when it involves leaving behind people, places, or experiences that have been significant. However, personal growth demands this kind of detachment. It is about recognizing that holding on to the past can keep you stuck in patterns that no longer serve your best interests. For example, clinging to old relationships or mindsets may prevent you from developing healthier connections or adopting new ways of thinking that align more closely with your current values and goals. By not looking back, you commit to shedding outdated aspects of yourself, allowing for the emergence of a more authentic and evolved version. This kind of growth is not merely about abandoning the past, but about learning from it. The past offers valuable lessons that can inform future decisions, but those lessons must be integrated into the present and future rather than constantly revisited with longing or regret. Personal growth requires an individual to take what they've learned and use it as a tool for better decision-making, not as a reason to remain anchored in old patterns. The ability to move forward without looking back signifies that these lessons have been internalized and that there is no need to return to the same old situations to seek clarity or resolution. The focus shifts from revisiting past mistakes to applying wisdom gained from those experiences in new, constructive ways. Moreover, personal growth thrives on the willingness to embrace change. Change is often unsettling, as it brings uncertainty and the unknown. However, true growth occurs when an individual accepts that change is inevitable and can lead to positive transformation. When someone refuses to look back, they are more likely to adapt to new circumstances with grace and resilience. They understand that growth is a forward-moving process, one that requires the abandonment of old habits, beliefs, or roles that no longer align with who they are becoming. This adaptability is crucial for personal evolution, as it allows the individual to continually redefine themselves based on their evolving experiences and knowledge. Choosing not to look back is also a testament to self-trust and confidence. Personal growth is often a journey of self-discovery, where a person learns to trust their instincts, decisions, and abilities. The idea of not looking back when leaving has deep roots in mythology and literature, serving as a powerful metaphor for transformation, loss, and the consequences of disobedience or doubt. Across cultures and time periods, this motif appears in stories as a cautionary symbol, urging individuals to fully commit to the path ahead or face dire consequences. It reflects the human struggle between clinging to the familiar and embracing the unknown, between memory and hope, and between regret and the courage to move forward. One of the most well-known mythological examples comes from the biblical story of Lot's wife in the book of Genesis. In this tale, Lot and his family are commanded by angels to flee the city of Sodom, which is about to be destroyed for its wickedness. They are specifically told not to look back as they escape. However, Lot's wife disobeys and looks back at the city, and as a consequence, she is turned into a pillar of salt. This act of looking back is often interpreted as a failure to fully relinquish the past. Lot's wife, by turning back to the city that was being destroyed, symbolizes an attachment to a way of life that she could not let go of, and her punishment reflects the dangers of not fully committing to the future. This story serves as a timeless reminder of the importance of moving forward without regret, hesitation, or the inability to detach from what is left behind. Similarly, in Greek mythology, the tragic story of Orpheus and Eurydice emphasizes the peril of looking back. Orpheus, a gifted musician, travels to the underworld to retrieve his wife, Eurydice, who has died. His music moves Hades, the god of the underworld, to grant Orpheus permission to take Eurydice back to the land of the living, but under one condition: he must not look back at her until they both have emerged from the underworld. Overcome with doubt and fear that she may not be following him, Orpheus looks back at the last moment, and Eurydice is lost to him forever. This myth encapsulates the tension between faith and doubt, illustrating how a failure to trust in the process or the future can result in irreversible loss. Orpheus' inability to resist looking back reflects his inner uncertainty and fear of moving forward without constant reassurance, a common human experience in times of transition and change. In literature, the motif of not looking back can be found in numerous works, often symbolizing the emotional and psychological challenges of leaving the past behind. In Homer's The Odyssey, Odysseus' journey home from the Trojan War is filled with moments where he must resist the temptation to return to familiar places or fall into old patterns. His journey is not just a physical voyage, but a symbolic journey of personal growth and transformation. Each time Odysseus encounters a trial, he is forced to choose between looking back, returning to the past, or being swayed by past comforts, or continuing forward, despite the hardships, toward a future that remains uncertain. This forward momentum, despite the temptation to look back, is essential to his eventual return home and the restoration of his life and identity. In more modern literature, the theme appears in works such as F. Scott Fitzgerald's The Great Gatsby. The protagonist, Jay Gatsby, is obsessed with recreating the past, specifically his relationship with Daisy Buchanan. His inability to let go of the past and his constant metaphorical looking back leads to his downfall. Gatsby's fixation on a perfect, idealized version of the past blinds him to the realities of the present and ultimately prevents him from moving forward in any meaningful way. In this context, the idea of not looking back is a warning against the dangers of nostalgia and the human tendency to idealize what has already passed, often at the cost of missing out on the potential of the future.